Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's starting 11 prediction time for tomorrow's trip to Paisley to face St Mirren. We are slowly but surely getting towards the business end of the season. I think right now we require 6 more wins, provided we win the next league game after this one tomorrow, which is the derby at Celtic Park, and that's given Rangers win all of their games other than that one as well. So we are slowly but surely getting to this stage of the season. We talked about it after the game the other night. It really is just a case of ticking the games off now and counting them in. We're 13 points clear, brilliant lead at the top of the table, and this is a really exciting part of the season now where hopefully we can go on and get our hands on both the prizes that are outstanding this season. Go back to the game the other night, 5-1 against Aberdeen. I think both the manager and the players since the game have sort of admitted it wasn't the team's best performance. I think you could see that being at the game and watching it. I think the first half we were a bit off it. I think Aberdeen came out and pressed as well. They had a couple of good early chances, could have taken the lead in the game, but we were ruthless with the chances that we got in the first half. We go in 3-0 up. Some really bright attacking play, but I think throughout the game there was a wee bit of vulnerability defensively, and whether that be in Aberdeen coming to presses or maybe just making some individual errors at times. It meant that it wasn't one of our best performances of the season, but you look at the scoreline and it's 5-1 against the team that's in third place. You can't have any complaints really. I know that the manager's massive on performance level, and I think tomorrow we're going to have to perform much better away from home. The concern, if there is one just now, is probably the away form. We've won 2 of our last 6 away games in the Scottish Premiership, so we're going to a place tomorrow where we know St Mirren can make it difficult for us. We've done well recently there, but they'll be high in confidence off the back of that 2-0 win at Ibrox last weekend. We know they're physical, they're also aggressive, both in terms of physicality and tackles and getting the ball in the box, but also probably going to pick their moments to be aggressive in terms of how they press us as well, on their own pitch as well. So I hear a bit about the surface today, maybe not being the greatest. So the players are going to have to deal with that. And like I say, just this undercurrent, a wee question mark with the away form. So hopefully we can perform at a high level tomorrow and get another massive 3 points before we look at the team for tomorrow's game. In other news, VAR, the SFA panel did confirm today that the wrong decision was made for Maeda's equalising goal at Hibs. The ball didn't go out of play. I think 4 of the 5 panellists agreed that it wasn't factually proven that the ball went out of play, as if we didn't all know that immediately after the incident. It was clear that the angle wasn't definitive, it wasn't factual. And what good is it now, really? Listen, I think we weren't our best last weekend and arguably deserved to lose the game, but still, that still doesn't change the fact that that was the wrong decision. And the fact that, again, we've had this situation where with Willie Collins' shows this season and the panel putting out these judgments after the fact, you have this situation where where the decision seemed so glaring at the time that it wasn't clear whether the ball was in or out. Now they've confirmed, that ball wasn't in or out, so we shouldn't have ruled that goal out. You should have got it right at the time, because now it means nothing. Now it doesn't impact the outcome of the game. It has no real bearing apart from just showing the officials up as incompetent, because I think it should be clear for a VAR official watching that if he doesn't have the angle that proves it, given the high profile cases of that exact incident there's been in a World Cup and down south in the Premier League, you've got to be aware that an 18-yard box angle looking at something at the byline doesn't give you a clear indication, a factual indication of whether the ball is in or out. But welcome to Scotland, another one to chalk up for the terrible VAR decisions this season. Moving on, thinking about next weekend, Hibs are obviously being offered 7,000 tickets for the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup at Celtic Park next weekend. Interested to see how that one plays out. The thing I read was talking about they are paying up front for the tickets. You'd hope that means they bring a big support. It's a really hefty away support for a domestic game. I don't think we'll have seen one like it since the old Derby allocations. Who knows if Hibs are going to fill that, but hopefully it adds to the spectacle. next weekend. And again, when we come to that game, the team I'm sure will be out to avenge that defeat at Easter Road last week. So let's turn our attention to the team for tomorrow at St Mirren then. I did get it right the other day for the Aberdeen game. I think that was the 12th time this season. I've managed to nail the starting 11. In goals, it will be Casper. He had a couple of shaky moments on Tuesday, to be fair, particularly with the ball at his feet. A few wayward passes out from the back, which hasn't been like him. Again, hopefully he's tidy on the ball tomorrow, playing out for the back, because again, talking about this surface, which I'm yet to see, obviously. I'll not see it till I get to the game tomorrow, but I know that a few people in the press conferences were keen to ask Callum McGregor and Brendan Rodgers about the surface at St Mirren tomorrow, so Casper's going to need to be careful with the ball in his own 6-yard box, because that tends to be the bobbliest area of the pitch. Back four, unchanged: Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty and Sloop. I thought Trusty, one or two really shaky moments the other night. Again, he goes from having these performances where he's been incredible, a couple of European games he's looked really, really good, and then there's a couple of domestic games where it looks like his twin brother, and he's been shocking. He's been easy to get at physically. He's made some poor decisions, dwelled on the ball. We obviously did that one on Tuesday there where Shaden Morris has robbed him in the halfway line, got through one-on-one with Schmeichel and put it wide of the post. I just think there's a bit of inconsistency there with Trusty. I think until he can get through that and banish that inconsistency, I think there's always going to be that question mark about him. We know he can do it. We've seen it in these bigger games, but like I say, it's just about consistency week in and week out, eradicating those mistakes that he made the other night. Midfield: McGregor, Engels, Hatate, again unchanged. I think because we're going to one game a week now for a period of time, I think the manager will make less changes. There is arguments to be made for maybe McCowan coming into a game like this. I just think because the recent game at Easter Road where Luke McCowan came in and he was brought off at half time, I think the manager might not necessarily rush back to give him a start in this one tomorrow. Again, we're missing Bernard. We'll keep talking about that. That's a big blow for us in midfield, but I just think he'll go with those three, and they'll need to be right at it. They'll need to be better than they were at Easter Road last weekend in the last away game. Front three: Kuhn on the right hand side, Jota on the left, and Dyson through the middle. That does represent an unchanged team from Tuesday night. Like I say, I just don't think there's any case to be made now that we're going to one game a week for there to be 3, 4, 5 changes to this team tomorrow. I might have missed one or two. Maybe you could make a case for Yang, positive impact off the bench the other night, but again, I'd be wary of that because every time you start Yang, he never looks anywhere near as effective as he is when he comes off the bench. And don't get me wrong, he's improved a wee bit this season, but I think still miles off it in terms of being a long-term first choice player for Celtic. If there's any other areas of the pitch you think maybe are up for grabs, can it be through the middle, Adam Ida? Again, I think he obviously comes off the bench during the week. I think he had one shot where he gets in down the right hand side, shot over the bar, not really involved other than that. I think again, building up to these games, we'll get Hibs in the Cup next weekend, and then it's the derby at Celtic Park the following week. Is Brendan's head going to be thinking, do you know what, Dyson through the middle is the answer right now because of what he gives us in terms of his work rate, in terms of how he presses the opponent, which I know is obviously a massive thing for Brendan Rodgers. And then does he go back to becoming the option off the bench? I think obviously that would be a blow for him because he looked a wee bit buoyed by the fact Kyogo had moved on and he was becoming first choice by default, and he got that wee burst of goals. And then maybe came back out once or twice and he had a really poor performance at Easter Road. Don't know where he does that. Wouldn't surprise me to see him start tomorrow. Obviously he does have that physicality against a physical team like St Mirren, but I'm just going to go with Dyson because I think that's working for us right now. He's scoring goals, 25 for the season, which is an incredible return for Dyson Maeda. It's his best goal scoring season for Celtic by an absolute country mile. Long may it continue. And like I say, I just think that goal scoring for him, everything he offers you defensively, everything he offers you defensively through the middle, I think that's why Brendan Rodgers will pick him tomorrow. If you disagree with any positions, let us know. Like the video, and we'll see you tomorrow at St Mirren with the full-time reaction. Thanks for bearing with me on this video, by the way. My voice has been gone since Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow with the full-time reaction. Cheers.